Today, I'm going to teach you how to make your ex realize what he lost. I'm going to do this by showing you 4 of the most effective tactics that I teach to my personal clients that gets them results. But if you want to bootstrap this process and get an idea of if you have a chance of even getting your ex back or want to waste time trying to get your ex back, I actually recommend that you do not watch this video, but simply look in the description link and click on the link that you see there. It will take you to a quick 2-minute quiz that will tell you what kind of chance you have of getting your ex back. But if you want all the details, hey, that's what this presentation is for. Let's start talking about how we can make your ex realize what he lost. Tip number 1, utilize a no contact rule. I feel kind of like a broken record because this is something that I recommend to almost everyone who's going through a breakup. The no contact rule is one of the most effective strategies for trying to win your ex back because it works in 2 very simple ways. It works to make your ex miss you and at the same time gives you time to cultivate your own personal life and press the reset button on your breakup. Now, the big sexy thing always you'll hear gurus talk about is the fact that if you use the no contact rule, it will make your ex miss you. But I actually think the more important part is the reset button. It allows you to reset your life and get kind of your stuff together. Tip number 2, utilize the Zeigarnik Effect. I'm just gonna level with you, I don't even know if I said that correctly. For some reason, my brain has a hiccup when it comes to pronouncing the Zeigarnik Effect, but it is one of the most useful strategies that you can employ on your ex after a breakup. In 1927, a Lithuanian psychologist named Bluma Zeigarnik made a pretty amazing discovery about interruption memory. While studying at the University of Berlin, Zeigarnik took note when one of her professors made the offhand comment that waiters at a local restaurant seemed to remember unpaid tabs better than paid ones. This would seem to imply that people remember uncompleted tasks better than completed ones. Think of it like this. If you're having a conversation with your ex and you end that conversation abruptly and interrupt the flow, your ex is more likely to remember the conversation as opposed to letting the conversation continue on its natural course. Netflix is notorious for this strategy. Think about all of their properties, especially their TV show properties. Every single episode ends on a cliffhanger. There's some open loop that hasn't been closed yet, and it makes you want to turn into the next episode to watch and see if that loop gets closed. Well, we're using the same type of terminology or concept here, except it's on your ex, and you're using conversations instead of a whole story. Now, if you're confused as to how this works or you want a little bit of a better explanation, I would highly recommend that you hop over to my website, www.exboyfriendrecovery.com. We have many detailed discussions and articles about how this concept works, because I really don't have time to get into the ins and the outs of it here in this small video. So let's move on to tip number 3. Tip number 3, make use of the ideal road not taken study. You know, if you really think about it, making your ex realize what they lost is about regret more than anything else. You need to make your ex regret their decision to break up with you. But how do you do that? Well, last year, 3 Cornell psychologists took some time to survey hundreds of individuals, and they learned some really interesting things about regret. Specifically how human beings deal with regret and what we regret more than anything else. What they found was pretty interesting. They actually found that there are 3 components that makes up a person's sense of self. The actual self, which consists of qualities that you personally believe that you have. The ideal self, which consists of qualities that you want to have. And the ought self is the person you feel that you ought to have been. So the 3 Cornell psychologists went and asked people what their biggest regret in life was, and 76% of individuals answered with one singular answer that was relatively the same across the board. They feel as if they hadn't fulfilled their ideal self. Personally, I believe this study is fascinating because it tells a lot about how people deal with regret. Oftentimes when people feel regret, it's about something they feel they haven't achieved yet. And I feel like this perfectly encapsulates your situation. You and your ex are broken up. You want him to regret his decision and come back to you, but he doesn't regret his decision. Well, as it turns out, the key to maybe making him regret his decision is to show him something that he wants, but can't have. Let's say throughout your relationship, your ex has talked about wanting to go to New York City. He's never been, and he's made many comments about the fact that he would love it to go, but has never had the opportunity or the chance. Of course, what does it matter? You're broken up now and you're not together. But one day you come up with this brilliant idea to go to New York City with a bunch of your girlfriends. Go out, have fun on the town, and record and document the journey. Your ex, unbeknownst to him, logs onto Facebook one day and sees all of these amazing pictures with you and your friends hitting up the town in New York City. He begins to grow jealous and starts to think about what he's missing out on. He starts to think to himself, that could have been me. I could have fulfilled that ideal dream that I wanted of going to New York City. And he starts to potentially regret his decision of breaking up with you. Now, I know it seems like a long shot. You just go to New York City and all of a sudden he's regretting his decision. Reality doesn't often work out that way. But what you'll find is that the more often you implement this small, tiny tactic, the more effective and more all-encompassing it can become. Maybe you don't have to do New York City. Maybe you do something on a smaller scale, but you do the smaller scale thing multiple times with multiple things that your ex wanted to do but couldn't do. Then it starts to become a lot more effective. Tip number 4, my personal commitment theory. Look, I've been doing this a very long time, and I've learned a lot since I started. One of the things that I've come up with recently is a new twist to how to make someone commit to you. We know from the interdependence theory that there are 3 main components behind making someone want to commit to you. How satisfied they are in the relationship, if they feel there's a better alternative out there for them, and how much they feel they have invested into the relationship. In the past, I've taught, look, all you need to do is focus on those 3 things and you should be good to go. But I've actually been rethinking that. Don't get me wrong, I still believe the interdependence theory, the satisfaction, alternatives, and investment aspect of commitment is very important. But I feel like there's more to commitment just than those 3 factors. I actually think there's 6. Satisfaction, alternatives, investment, scarcity, urgency, and fear of loss. You'll find that probably 9 out of 10 of the success stories that we have throughout this YouTube channel or podcast or website combines these 6 factors to get a commitment from their ex. It's not just about feeling satisfied. It's not just about making your ex believe there's no better alternative than you. It's about finding a way to synergize and create all 6 of those things, all 6 of those factors into your relationship. If you really want to make your ex regret their decision or make him realize what he lost, focus on getting these 6 things at a very high level. Hey, thank you so much for getting to the end of this video. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please take a minute and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Every subscriber helps, especially in today's day and age. And if you haven't already, make sure you hop over to our website and take our Ex Recovery Chances quiz. I put this quiz together for you so that you can get an idea of what kind of chance you have of getting your ex back. Taking the quiz is super easy. Simply just look in the description of this YouTube video, click the link you see there, and we will hook you up. I'll see you guys next time.